Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another beautiful game of StarCraft 2. This one is being played between Liquid Jinro, he is the red Terran waver here on the left side of Metaloplis, and his opponent once again for Game 2 in this best of 3 series is Duckload Raw, better known as White Raw, and White Raw is actually leading the series 1-0 right now. We got cross positions once again for this TVP matchup, so maybe we'll see a sort of repeat from that last map. Metalopolis used to be one of the largest maps available for these tournament games, but now Terminus Re, Tal'Darim Altar, some of these other maps are just massive, so it could actually end up being a quicker game here. We'll see what these players have in mind. White Raw with that 2-gate expand robotics facility, and I have to believe he only went for the quick Colossi because of his lack of scouting information. I'm wondering if he's going to stick to that same build since it did work out so well. The thing is, this natural expansion compared to Terminus's natural expansion is actually much harder to actually defend against things like Hellions or big bio pushes, things like that. It would take a lot of force fields to cover this whole radius outside of where Nexus would actually be plopped down. So we'll see if Jinro goes for the same sort of build with that sort of thing in mind. If he can prevent White Raw from taking a second base and get a second one up of his own, he will actually be in a great spot. So just the very standard builds coming out for both players so far. Nothing too sneaky. White Raw actually not really known for being a sneaky player. He's just incredibly solid in basically every game that I've seen of his. He'll make a few gateways. He'll do Void Rays here or Dark Templar there, but always very safe builds, I feel like. He is not the riskiest of all players. Sometimes he'll even go for Warp Prisms, which are kind of risky just inherently, because if you lose a Warp Prism, I mean, it's a lot of time and minerals lost, but even then, if it does any effect, if it makes the player a little bit more worried that you're going to do it again, something like that, then it's worth it in the long run. So White Raw just incredibly solid. Jinro, have not seen him actually cheese, I think, ever. Proxy racks, don't think I've seen too many out of Jinro, whether it's MLG or GSL or any of these smaller tournaments, these invitationals like the Stockholm Invitational. Just don't see too much cheese out of Mr. Jinro. Sometimes he goes 1-1-1 Cloak Banshee. I don't really consider that cheese at all, especially since you can play very defensively with that build and still end up doing a lot of damage. Jinro is mining here from White Raw's mineral patch and bounces a couple of them away, but he did not hit stop fast enough and actually picked up 5 minerals just to carry home if he ever does make it back. You know what's interesting is this Stalker could actually come out in time to kill this SCV before it gets out of the base. Okay, it's definitely not going to happen, but I was going to say, what if the SCV dropped the minerals when it died and you can just like mouse over it and pick it up or get a probe to go retrieve it? Would that be interesting? I don't know. Just another little addition to the game that I don't think would affect the balance really at all, but would be kind of neat. That's right, I said neat. Anyway, Jinro doing a 1-Rax expand, so this is actually kind of risky here on Metalopolis. If White Raw were to just go 4-gate, he would probably crush him, but instead we see White Raw going for 2 gates and a Twilight Council, which makes me think, of course, either a DT Rush or Fast Blink. I did not actually see when that second assimilator came down, so DT Rush actually could be possible, but Jinro is one of these extremely solid players, and actually with a second orbital command online before those DTs get here, I have to think Jinro would actually be really safe against Dark Templar Rush. So let's take White Raw Vision real quick and just see what he's gained from Jinro so far. Okay, he does not actually... Wow, I just lost it again. He does not know about that second command center, which will be an orbital command by the time any Dark Templar actually happen. Yeah, he is getting that Dark Shrine, wow. So White Raw just not even getting any scouting information. He's like, I'm going to roll the dice, see what happens. He's got 2 gateways. Usually with a DT Rush, you'll see as many as 3 gateways and a proxy pylon, of course, somewhere eventually. Wow, Jinro actually being a bit sneaky here, too, with a Scouting Reaper. He did gain some scouting information and actually managed to snipe off a probe there. Let's take Jinro Vision, and he did not see the Twilight Council or the Dark Shrine or even the second gateway, so this Reaper actually was intended to do some economic damage. It looks like he's going to take out a second probe, so this Reaper has essentially paid for himself. Not going to be a big deal that he exploded into a bunch of jetpack and guts right there at that cliff, but he definitely should have tried to scout a little more, I think, because now these DTs are coming. He still doesn't 100% know it, He didn't see that many gateway units though, and he did see this probe coming down here trying to expand, the one that he killed there. So Jinro probably knows that he's safe for the time being from any kind of 4-gate or 3-warp gate attack. There is a proxy pylon already here from White Raw, or a forward pylon, since it's not really like inside Jinro's base or anything like that. I like to just call these forward pylons instead of proxy pylons. But the Dark Shrine is done now. We've got 2 Dark Templar coming down here. Jinro actually scouting around for pylons, not bad at all. That engineering bay is actually finished though, and this turret is coming up at the ramp. Right now, White Raw is going to head over there, destroy it, no problemo. Is there enough energy for a scan? In about 2 seconds there will be, so he should drop that scan. He's already got concussive shells, very lucky for him, but not actually able to kill that DT just yet. Oh no, White Raw walked right back into the scan range. There's no turret finished yet. Man, so White Raw losing that DT a little bit carelessly. Does he still have one alive somewhere? Actually, he's got 2 more alive back here. It looks like they're coming along to try and do some damage, but this turret will give them a lot of detection range here. He just bounces one away and kills the other one, so dropping that scan, he's going to have no problems at all. Finishing off that Dark Templar threat. He's got a scouting SCV over here, knows that White Raw has expanded, so Jinro should be able to get this orbital command down with no problems. Once this turret comes up, he can even build another bunker here, or a little bit closer into his mineral line, and be totally safe for the rest of the game from any kind of DT. So White Raw being forced to switch gears here a little bit, getting that robotics facility up now, probably going to be seeing an observer come out of there quickly, and then work his way toward Colossi once again. But poor Dark Shrine and Twilight Council weren't as effective as White Raw would have liked, and now at least he's got a lot of gas still that he can use for other upgrades and things like that. I don't know if he's going to throw up that double forge like we saw in the first game, but I would actually advise it since Jinro is actually just going a lot of bio once again. Looks like he might actually sprinkle in some Vikings and medevacs, but that's to be expected anyway. Yeah, he's going to get this reactor built for the starport, then probably just go off scouting with that factory. Jinro is the biggest proponent of the scouting factory that I think I've ever seen from a Terran player, but White Raw walking right past the Zelnaga Tower. He already has vision of it. His pylon is still safe, so he doesn't know that Jinro hasn't expanded over here, but he can basically guess 2 Stalkers. Not sure what this is about. We'll see in a moment what he's planning to do here. Actually, just checking the Zelnaga Tower, expecting a Marine or even a Marauder there. He would have killed it off quite easily, so not a bad movement there. Jinro does have combat shields about to finish. There it is, finished now. +1 weapons for all these bio units about to complete as well. I think Jinro did just scout over here looking for some more pylons or anything like that. Didn't actually run past one yet. Actually, he bounced around the mineral line of the 3rd and walked out and totally missed this pylon right here. So I don't know if that was intended by White Raw, but it turned out to be pretty genius placement. 4 gateways total. We still have that Dark Shrine, so he could make some DTs basically anytime he wanted. It looks like an SCV did just, or a Marine actually, just got exploded there by this Stalker. No big deal. That's just how White Raw rolls. Let's look at the income tab for the first time this game. 56 harvesters for Jinro off of 2 bases, 49 for White Raw. So White Raw built such a great economic lead in that first game, not going for the same sort of lead in game 2. He is going to lose a Stalker as well. This Marauder stims up to shoot a concussive shell, and now this Stalker is trapped until his buddies can arrive, but the Marauder, takes one last shot at the wrong target. Didn't actually manage to kill him. Someone just pinged the map. Thank you very much, whoever did ping the map while watching this in the first place when it was originally cast several weeks ago. I appreciate it, but I was already looking there. So Jinro just hanging out here, just scouting the 3rd, making sure White Raw hasn't expanded over there yet. There is an armory and +1 ground armor researching right now, so it looks like he is going to be very upgrade-centric this time around. He is making a 3rd command center. Looks like he wants to take that 3rd sooner than later. White Raw also building his 3rd right now, so these players are quite even on the economy here. White Raw is just going to get a free Marauder kill, of course, but Jinro did see this Nexus coming up. They're actually even on economy right now. 58 harvesters apiece. Jinro should be a little bit higher in the minerals, but they're even on gas. Is he saving energy for DTs? He is saving enough for a scan, but I don't know if that's intentional or just a result of being busy with other things. But there's a Raven out now anyway. If a DT did try to walk anywhere near this army, it would be dispatched quite easily. White Raw moving now with quite a lot of units, and he does have the supply advantage, 121 to 15. It's not a big supply advantage, but it is an advantage. And actually he had a DT here stopping this turret from going up as well. Not bad at all. Getting that SCV kill, getting that turret kill. But now the Raven's here. DT just instantly gets exploded. Here comes another DT warping in. Is he going to be able to do any damage with it? I'm not sure. He's got observers all over the map as well. White Raw's map vision doing quite well here. Jinro's scouting factory about to check all these other bases here on the southern side of the map just to be sure. And White Raw sacks another DT there. Hurts to see that. He comes in here where the turret is building. He could actually kill another SCV and turret combination. Quite easy. Wow, he didn't kill that SCV somehow. What? He didn't have any armor? That was weird. Either way... It does take, usually only takes one swipe to kill an SCV. I'm not sure how he lived with 1 HP. That was really weird. A glancing blow, perhaps? But the DT is just going to be scanned and destroyed there for good. No more pylons over here for White Raw, unless he builds another one inside the smoke over here. I don't know what this probe is going to end up doing. Maybe we'll find out later, but White Raw has his third up and running. This Marine is actually going to be very close to this pylon, but not see it. Scouting factory, not gaining any additional information. The Marine, I can't believe how close this Marine is to this pylon. He's not going to see it. How many gateways do we have now? White Raw about to be up on 8 gateways once these complete. That is quite a lot. He's got a Twilight Council, but he already had one over here, so maybe he forgot that he had DT tech already, but the second Twilight Council, not useful at all unless you're getting both upgrades at a single time. So a little bit of a misstep there from White Raw as well, and he is a super solid player, so even the best can mess up once in a while. 1-1 upgrades rolling now, so we are going to see those upgrades started here. He does already have his Twilight Council, of course, so he can get 2-2 quite quickly as well. Zealot Charge going to be done here soon. Colossus, one at a time. Just what we saw from that first game on Terminus Re, except he's got a lot of warp gates here. Yeah, Marine's still just hanging around with the pylon, no big deal there. A little contingent from Jinro headed down here to maybe try and kill some pylons, kill some workers. We'll see how successful he is with that in a moment. There's a Zealot coming out, killing off this Marine. He knew he didn't sign up for this, but he's going to die anyway. And that's it for that. But Jinro actually did a little drop here with 4 Marauders and a Medevac, trying to gun down some pylons. Might actually be able to kill off this robotics facility. He's doing another little attack with those 5 units we saw earlier, so he did draw White Raw's attention effectively away from the main. He did lose those 5 units on the bottom, but now actually killed a robotics facility that was building a Colossus. I don't think White Raw got the cancel there, so good job from Jinro here, and actually cleaning out all these pylons here at this top spawn as well. I'm not sure why White Raw just built that pylon either, unless it was queued up already, but Jinro actually doing some decent harassment here. Now he's going to drop 4 Marauders in here, try and kill off this Dark Shrine. Not a bad decision at all. I don't know if White Raw's going to be fast enough to respond to this. I do see some movement on the minimap, but I don't see any units here actually able to stop this from happening. Interesting stuff. So Jinro takes out another little piece of tech and that pylon. Going to kill the Twilight Council, or try to, but now White Raw finally getting over there with some units. Jinro, the bulk of his army, is starting to move down that bottom highway, but something is calling his attention back. I'm not sure what that was about. He actually would have been probably very good there if he had just moved down to that bottom base that White Raw's trying to take. He needs to kill this Zealot, of course, and White Raw is now tipped off to the fact that Jinro's entire army is barreling down this highway. Blink is being researched right now, 3 more gateways being added on, Jinro building 2 command centers at once. He's soon going to be on every single base on the left side, essentially. Terran ship weapons level 1 coming up, so he can kill those Colossi even faster. Weapons level 3 and armor level 2 coming for his infantry. The gateway units of White Raw still sitting at 1-1, but 2-2 is about to complete. He'll have Blink, he'll have Charge. Both players will have all the upgrades they could ever ask for. Jinro, I'm not sure why his army is segmented right here. Oh, he's actually doing another drop back here, going to kill off that pylon again. Maybe even get the Twilight Council here. Of course, White Raw has 2 because he knew this would happen. That's why he built 2. That one was a dummy, and this one is the real one, researching all the Charge and the Blink. So when I said it was a mistake earlier, just totally ignore that. I am a retard. White Raw is the best player in the world, so he knew this would happen. Anyway, Jinro has quite a large force here, but Blink and Zealot Charge actually going to be very effective at getting these Marauders the heck out of here. These Colossi moving in as well. One Medevac is taken out, a second one about to be killed, but Jinro is now here at this bottom expansion, killing off basically everything for free. White Raw is so far out of position trying to fend against those drops that he doesn't get over here for quite a long time. He warped in a round of units to try and slow down this onslaught, but he's going to lose that Nexus for sure. And Jinro starts to move up now. Jinro actually getting a little bit spread out here, but all these Zealots charging in. They're going to rip up these Marauders. Both players are sitting at 2-2 upgrades, which is interesting, but these Colossi with their Guardian Shield getting picked off by the Vikings. Jinro actually loses the last of his ground forces, except for these little guys here that have been stemmed nearly to death. Will they be able to take out this Nexus? I don't see White-Raw responding. This is kind of interesting that he's not responding here. And Jinro, if you're doing what I'm thinking you're doing, I'm just going to glance at that after this Nexus gets taken out. So White-Raw does lose a Nexus again for no reason. He was trying to get all his units in one spot. Okay, I thought Jinro was going to be building a planetary fortress in the middle of the highway, but in fact he was not. He is building a planetary fortress here at the Gold, though, which is super saturated with SCVs at the moment. And White-Raw moving in here for the counterattack. He does have the supply lead by about 30, and these charging Zealots with their 2-2 upgrades so hard to slow down. Jinro soon will be sitting at 3-2, but not until after he loses a ton of units and this planetary fortress. None of these SCVs are repairing. They're just sitting there dumbfounded by the fact that White-Raw has come over to counterattack so quickly, and Jinro's suddenly looking very, very bad here. 89 supply against 137. The Vikings just overhead doing nothing. These Stalkers and Zealots just ripping up the ground forces before the Colossi even get there. There's only 2 Colossi, but they have done quite a lot of damage. This one here is a master with 18 kills. Vikings do take out one of the Colossi, not going to even put a dent in the second one, though. And Jinro, GG's. And Jinro, being a Swedish player playing in the Stockholm Invitational, being dropped out in the quarterfinals, aka the first round, has to be a bit of a letdown. I feel bad for him, but White-Raw just asserted his dominance there in both of those games, Terminus and Metaloplis. He did such a great job with defense here on Metaloplis and just counterattacked for the win. Such great games out of super solid White-Raw. And like I said, with that double Twilight Council, he knew the whole time he was going to lose one of them. He knew way before I knew. So big props to White-Raw. I'm going to put up a fake Game 3, so don't even bother watching it. It does amuse me always when people see the dummy game that's meant to prevent spoilers and they get super pissed off about it. I just don't even know what to tell those people. But you guys are the smart ones. You actually watch the games in order. Don't watch Game 3 in the series because it's just a dummy game. And I'm going to do that for all of these quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals if necessary. So thanks again for watching. Let's just move on into the next game for another quarterfinal match. Champions playing each other in this first round of a tournament is pretty epic. So actually everyone in the tournament, I believe, has some sort of giant tournament win. Let's see.